Karuga. Kapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Important things are needed new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look, these three-word written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since tall word proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Monday, January 9th, 2023, aka what is it? Well, one of the days is Play God Day, but it's actually National Word Day, amongst other days. And I know I said last week I couldn't care what day of the week it was, but it's a new week, so we're back to caring again. Not Ryan Johnson was first in the chat, says hello in Kapla. Hail Karoga, hail Karoga. Richie Poole says Kapla, Kapla, Richie. Moxley fan says Bird. Kapla, Bird, hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. And Moxley says, please keep me and my family in your thoughts and prayers. My father has passed away. I am not taking the news of his passing well. Thanks. Oh, Moxley, I am so sorry. Please, Moxley, tell us about your dad. How old was he? I don't know how old you are, Moxley. I mean, not that it matters, to be honest, whether you're 15 or 55. The loss of your dad, I'm sure, going to hit you quite hard. Dad O'Prey passed 11 years ago, 12? 11 years ago. I was happy to know him into my young 30s. A lot of people didn't know their dads nearly that long. On the other hand, I knew people who were twice my age, in fact, even more than that, and both their parents were still alive. I knew people who were in their 60s, and both their parents were still alive. And then there were people like Mom O'Prey, whose mother died when she was a child, and father died when she was a young adult, before she was even pregnant, before I was born. Just never seemed fair Yeah, Mama Pray says it hurts just as much. Never seemed fair. And I'm sure it's even less fair when a parent loses a child. That's the only thing worse. But Mom will pray. You're in her thoughts and prayers, as I'm sure you're in everyone's thoughts and prayers, Moxley. Certainly my own. Um, and Moxley says hello to us all. Hello, Moxley. I'm sure you're here because you want something. What, Mom will pray? Yes, if you want to, Moxley, I'm all ears. If you don't, I understand that as well. I won't. I don't want to put you on the spot. Carlo Albanese says, "Hail, Caroga! Hail, Caroga!" And Mom will pray. Carlo says, "Nice picture, Carlo." Although I don't really know what she's talking about, but nice picture. You'll know what she's talking about. John DeMarco says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings, John." And John is sorry for Moxley's loss. Not Ryan Johnson also is sorry. Scythilis is good morning. Friendo's good morning. Scythilis, he hopes everyone is well. And Scythilis says, and that one day I will be able to type on a tablet properly. That's okay, Scythilis. Scythilis says, I had a rough bed life last night. Colostomy bag exploded. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, Syphilis. I really am. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. What are you going to do but laugh? Very rough, says Syphilis. Yvette says, good evening, Bird, and everyone. Good evening, Yvette. Syphilis says, yeah, I think I understood that. My colostomy bag. Yvette says, Moxley, sorry to hear that. Thoughts with you and your family. Absolutely. Thomas Potts says, so now Birds has ads before streams. Boo. Thomas, I'm just testing it. I'll probably be done next week. We'll be back to normal. It had been suggested that if I had more ads, YouTube might promote the stream more. But I'll be honest, I've seen zero evidence of YouTube doing any such thing. So certainly I plan to do it throughout all of January. But at this point, I think by next week, if there's still no changes, I'll be back to turning off ads before streams. The only ads will be the ads that show up on the side of videos. And to be honest, I haven't seen any ads, being I've had YouTube Premium for so long. And even before that, I had an ad blocker. I don't even know where these ads supposedly show up. Sizzler says, oh no, sorry to hear. To Moxley as well, condolences. Where are we? Gorilla says, Kapla all will be lurking. Kapla Gorilla. Hope you're doing well. I am so sorry, Gorilla. I was asleep last night. I was so tired last night from going on from Sunday morning. Charlie and Charlie woke up like 5 a.m. and though Sisso Prey kept him in the bedroom for an hour or so, I could hear him already awake, and I was I wasn't able to get back to sleep. Although I was laying in bed, I could hear him, and God bless him, but that was at least 2 hours earlier than I normally would have gotten up. Closer to 3 hours I normally would have gotten up. I never really got that time back yesterday. I fell asleep so exhausted yesterday that I completely missed the Orwell, the 1984 stream. I hope it went well. And I woke up a little bit at 5 a.m. this morning to see Deej streaming. I typed one word in Deej's stream, and then I fell back asleep again. I didn't wake up till 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And even then, I was still exhausted, but finally starting to feel back to normal from Saturday and Sunday. I hope it continues to go well. And last night was a bad night for my oxygen levels, but hopefully we get back to normal soon. Sithler says, I hope you can celebrate him how he would have liked with your family. Absolutely. And Moxley says, we the people, Moxley, we offer you our condolences. Sithler says, I'm sure both of you are thinking of each other. LDG at Free the Net Waves. Welcome, LDG. Pop Culture Curator says hello there. Kapla Bird, hope you are doing well. Kapla Pop, hope you're doing well as well. Antiderivative Jill says hello, listening as I rush out the door. Kapla Antiderivative Jill, hope you are doing well today. And be safe as you rush out the door. Hakeem says, Moxley, so sorry to hear that. Hang in there. And Antiderivative Jill puts an MF in the chat. That is the Doomcock way of showing support for Moxley fan. It's not just the Doomcock way. It's the YouTube way, I suppose. So if anybody wants to show support for Moxley, put an MF in the chat. Just for today, it stands for Moxley fan and not for the other thing. Not for the other thing. Yes, Babo Prey thought MF was standing for the other thing. Syphilis is clean up for one. Yes, you know what? I'll be honest, Syphilis. Being stuck in the hospital bed, one of my biggest concerns, and honestly, perhaps my biggest personal concern, is, my bowel movements, okay? When you can't lift yourself up to transfer into a toilet bowl and you're stuck in a bed or a chair, your bowel movements become a bigger problem than they would normally be for someone who can, stand and walk to a toilet or even just transfer to one if they're in a wheelchair. Because when I have a bowel movement, I need a lot of time. I need time to get ready, to turn myself, or with help, get turned, clear the room of anyone who might be around, put up barricades if there's people in my house. It is a pain in the ass. Not literally, a pain in the ass. And I've known a couple of people who have had to go with colostomy bags temporarily throughout their lives for whatever reasons. And although I don't want one, if the day came where I needed one, I almost feel like it might make life easier for me.
Newsflash, you can blame me
Oh,
that you don't have.
I can blame you. I don't have one.
Yes,
They wanted to do it.
they wanted to do it, and I said absolutely not.
God damn it, Bible pray.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. We thought
They
we,
also said you would be.
they
with
said
me
I'd
in
be
a year.
walking in a year. They said I'd be walking in a year. So it was the right call at the time. At the time.
Because the nurses didn't want to clean you up.
Because the nurses didn't want to have to clean my poop. They wanted to give me a colostomy bag. But Mama Pray said, no, you're going to clean his poop and like it.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what you must have said, Mama Pray. You said that I'll clean his poop.
That's exactly.
Mama Pray.
Do it up.
Mama Pray, being the saint of a woman, she is
Far from the same.
far from a saint, but still closer to a saint than most people on this planet. She said, you don't have to clean up my son's poop. I'll clean it up. Just don't give him a colostomy bag. Well,
There was the time the electricity went out, and I had to do one of those rebreather bags.
oh yeah, the electricity went out and she had to do the rebreather for I was on a ventilator. She had to keep manually pumping the air into my body so I wouldn't die.
Oh, I'm going to.
It's okay. Mr. Londell says all you've done with the ads they filled is YouTube's pockets. Yeah, but I would think that YouTube would promote my videos if I was lining their pockets. That's kind of how it's supposed to work, but apparently not. So fuck their pockets. Stanley says Bird of Prey is sure to do something to offend advertisers sooner or later anyway. Of course I am. Of course, and maybe it's better for everybody that I don't run ads to begin with. Hi Sassy, how are you doing? Aravic Sonder says live long and prosper. Live long and prosper, Aravic. Andrew Jill loves Orwell and sorry she missed it too. Miss Lundell says Gorilla did a pretty good job on 1984. Maybe I'll show it for you special one of these days. Thank you, Miss Lundell. And Andrew Jill also says sorry for your loss to Moxley fan. Gorilla says it did go well, Bird. The razor shortage in the movie was so bad it affected the gal who played Julia. That was one huge bush. Wow. I had no idea. I had no idea it was that type of movie, Gorilla. Now I really want to see it more. Syphilis is Bird. I slept for 36 hours on Thursday evening. Holy Christ, Syphilis. Holy Christ. Well, I hope you felt better once you woke up. Gorilla says, sorry to hear that, Moxley. And Syphilis says, it is MF, MF, MF. Yes, yes, it is the way to do it. Stanley says, son of a bitch. Yvette says, MF. Syphilis says, what's the other thing? I forgot what I was saying. I don't know. Murder Hornet returns. Kapla Bee's Nest. is in the house. Thomas Potts says, yeah, what's the other thing? I don't know. What did I say exactly? What did I say exactly? Did I say there were a couple of things? What couple of things? So this is, yeah, a lot of people take their butt for granted, Bird. But yay, I need about 10 minutes plus as well. Okay. I gotcha. Thomas says, thank God I didn't eat yet. Syphilis is unfortunately mine is not temporary. I'm sorry to hear that, Syphilis. But yeah, I guess if I was to get one at this point, it wouldn't be temporary either. Thomas says, don't swear at Mama Pray. No, sponge baths, Stanley, are not what you think they are. Okay? First off, there's never any cute nurses doing sponge baths. Okay? I'll tell you, you had the old lady nurse, you had the particularly unattractive nurses, you had the Mama. I had to ask Mama Frey. It's like, Mama Frey, was that a girl or a guy?
We weren't really quite sure.
And we weren't 100% sure. This was, back in 2010. This isn't 2020 where it's like, oh, how brave. And no, this was, I honestly had to ask Mama Frey, was that a girl or a guy who just gave me a sponge bath? And Mama Frey is like, I don't know.
Many football, the female football player.
Yeah, the female football player type who was.
Well, you needed her to turn you.
Yeah, well, good thing that she could turn me and whatnot. I mean, she was a fine person. Jesus Christ. And then, of course, you had the just evil nurses that just, it was like, how dare they have to waste their time on me? Yeah. Thomas Potts, it reminds me not to swear at Mama Frey. I wasn't swearing at Mama Frey. No, I didn't swear while you were outside. He thought I was swearing at you while you were here. Mike Richards is greetings from Columbus, Ohio. What did I just walk into? Oh, you don't want to know. A shit show, says Mama Frey. Pop Culture Curator says Mama Frey didn't want to put up with that shit. Snorterpooper says, hello, humans and other critters. Hello, Snorterpoopers. And Snorterpooper says, hello, and Kapla. Syphilis says, honestly, walking up to an exploded colostomy bag is the worst part of the rest of managing it is fine. I gotcha. Keely Chow says, hey to everybody, what's going on? I kind of remembering now when I was first waking up, and I was first starting, because remember, I didn't eat any food for like 10 months. 5.5 months. Okay. A significant amount of time, no food went down my mouth. So I had stopped pooping pretty much. It was just a liquid that would come out. And so what they would do, they'd put this thing up my butt. That was and it was like a cardboard tube that emptied into a plastic pouch. And I didn't even know I was going, and they would change it every day or so. It was just liquid coming out. But then when I started eating, I started having more substantial poops, and I didn't understand why they couldn't keep that in me. they're like, you don't understand it. It's only for liquids. And once I started eating solid food, it would just push it out.
Who's been holding up the
It
damn
would push it out the butt. It turned into be a shitty situation. And 205 donated $1.49, got eyebrow dax, and said you should have done it the Donald way and grabbed a nurse. You would know on the spot. Oh, grab her by the you know what. I guess the thing is, I didn't want to know. I only wanted to know for my own sake. If I had to say, use a pronoun. Okay, honestly, the one time in my life I wanted to know what pronoun to use was 10 years before anybody ever thought of putting their pronouns in their Twitter biographies. I don't even know if Twitter was around in 2009. Facebook was around. I guess Twitter was too, but nobody was really using it. Murder Hornet Returns says, seriously, guys, if you're 45 or older, get your colon checked. VA sent me in. I had a cancerous polyps. Lucky they cut it out. Absolutely, Murder Hornet Returns. A minor procedure versus a major catastrophe later on in life. I'm glad it worked out. Syphilis says, I don't want to gross everyone out with too much info. I'll gross the people out, Syphilis. I don't mind. Words and Pictures says, Moxley fan, we don't know each other, but I see you here. I'm sending you love, prayers, thoughts, gentle, comforting vibes of kindness to you. Oh, that is awesome, Words and Pictures. Kronos is in the house. Says, oh crap, the bird is the word. Welcome, Kronos. Murder Hornet says, doctor said 1 more year, I would have had full-blown cancer, and I wouldn't have went if they didn't send me. Wow, that's awesome. Kronos says, hey, and Kapla all. Keely Chow says, Kapla, bird of prey. Kapla, Keely. Syphilis says, Murder Hornet, I'm under 40, just got checked. Every year, regardless of age, I'm dead because I didn't. Syphilis had cancer already, or has cancer. Kronos says, what did I miss? Kronos, unfortunately, Moxley fans' father.
Divert auxiliary power to deflectors.
That was the main thing that you missed today. And Sci-Fi Nation with a $2 super chat says Bird wanted more than just the tip to stay in. Yeah, technically, I wanted the poop tube to stay in. Because it took a lot of getting used to just turning on my side and letting it rip. It's not natural. Words and Pictures has got Bird, good. And it jumped. Got Bird, good to see you. You were on form yesterday during Twilight Zone. Very funny. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Words and Pictures. That was a couple of good ones. A piece of white fabric. Oh, how lovely. Chrono says you can sleep for 36 hours. Apparently, some people can. Apparently. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies puts in the MF for Moxley fan. Android of Jill says, that's why I was surprised My English teacher showed us 1984 on the last day of school, prostitute scene and all. Oh, wow. I have to watch this movie. Kronos says, hey to Mr. Lundell. The Random Menace's greetings from the future, you beautiful creatures. In high school, well, I'll tell you, in high school, they were basically showing us porno anyway. Kronos says, hey to antiderivative in words and Stan. Scythia says, I had to get mine to prevent a perforation of the bowel. I'm sorry to hear that, Scythia. That is not good. Kronos says, you have no snuggle buddies. No, Kronos, not these days. Stanley says, but in the movies, it's always hot young nurses. Have they been lying to me? Yes, they have, Stanley. At least not around New York. New York City, there's no hot young nurses. They just don't exist. Outside New York, smaller towns, yes, I know. I've seen them. They exist, but not in New York City. Kronos says, hey to Mamo Pray. Stanley says, worried about the nurses' pronouns back then. I wasn't worried about making them feel bad, although I guess I should have been. I was just meant for my own sake. Scythia says, bird of prey, you know what I noticed about nurses is that they all genuinely care about their patients. It must be so exhausting for them. Scythia, that is so awesome that you noticed that about nurses, because I really believe then that means the nurses you have seen do genuinely care about their patients. And I'm sure, yes, there are nurses out there who absolutely genuinely care about their patients. However, in this area at least, the unfortunate truth is that not all of them genuinely care about their patients. We've had experiences with more than one, more than two, more than a handful, who literally, I don't know why they went into nursing, but there's a lot of advertising here to get people to go into nursing because there is such demand for nurses that they will literally take just about anybody, even before COVID. Yeah, even before COVID, we had such a shortage of nurses that they were like, hey, are you looking to get a job at McDonald's or Burger King? You know, does Taco Bell not have enough benefits for you, but you really only your ambition is to only eat tacos? Well, instead of working at Taco Bell, become a nurse. We'll pay for your schooling and we'll pay for this, and you become a certified nurse. And that's what they did. That's where they found people. And so instead of whether they were taking orders as to whether they wanted chicken or beef on a taco, now they're telling people, you're not allowed in this room between these hours. Because why? Well, because the paper says so. Scythia says, bird. Yeah, it's exhausting. I believe it. I believe it in other countries, in other cities. There really are nurses who care more. Kronos says, everyone likes Mama Gray. Not all the nurses.
Yeah, not all the nurses.
Nurse Ratchet donated $1.49 and says, I learned how to care for patients at Karoga Medical School, and I think I treated everyone fine. Hail Karoga. You know, I saw that movie with Nurse Ratched for the very first time after Louise Fletcher died last year. Yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I'll be honest, in my experience with nurses, Nurse Ratched didn't seem so bad. I said this at the time. I said, this is Nurse Ratched? I thought Nurse Ratched was like the most evil nurse in the world. Nurse Ratched didn't hold a candle to some of the nurses we've had to deal with. Nurse Ratched's a damn well good nurse compared to what we've had to deal with. Syphilis says, lol, I never met an evil one. I've met heaps that try too hard to keep the conversation flowing. Well, good for you, Syphilis. We've met the evil ones.
You wanted to fund you.
I told her I could barely move. I could barely move. And all I could say is, here. I went like this. I was like, move your face into my fist, please, so I can punch you in the face. I couldn't do anything else. I could barely hold my fist. I was like, just please put your face into my fist. Is there anything I can do for you? Yeah, bring your face into my fist. Will there be a Mamo Pray tale? Asks Kronos. I don't know, Kronos. Stanley says, was I on intravenous nutrition? Very temporarily, because the intravenous nutrition started getting infected over and over and over again. So for many months, I had no nutrition. Okay, first I had a feeding tube. That got fucked up. The intravenous nutrition, that got fucked up.
The nurse put the nutrition in the wrong line.
Right, and then the nurse put the nutrition in the wrong line. That fucked it up.
And you needed to go down and get it.
I had to go back to interventional radiology to get another central line put in. And yeah.
I was standing there. It says use this for nutrition, and she used the other one.
Yeah, it's tubes. Mama Frey said it had 2 tubes. One was marked, use this for nutrition. And she used the other line for the nutrition. And Murder Hornet says his dad has prostate cancer. I'm sorry to hear that, Murder Hornet. Obviously, depends on how far progressed it is. But, you know, some people, I had a great uncle who had prostate cancer, and they were able to put in the seeds, and it was a relatively minor issue, and he's knock wood, he's fine now, has been for a decade. But obviously it depends on when they catch it. JP says no poop talk. Okay. Syphilis says I say what in the butt. No, Murder Hornet says I say what in the butt. Syphilis says it was sorry to hear. Murder Hornet says it's the circle of life. JP says, so pick her up like a bowling ball then. Well, that's assuming it's a her. JP is that you might grab them and find a surprise. Darth Maul says pronoun opre 5. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Kapla, Jedi Bill. The man with internet again. Chrono says his pronoun is attack helicopter, aka Airwolf. Stanley says MySpace and BBBSs. I don't think BBBSs were very popular in 2009. Stanley says, damn, I remember the dial-up local BB bulletin board systems, BBSs. Jedi Bill says, I think Twitter has been around since 2006. Yeah, that sounds right. Random Menace is finally some good shit on YouTube. Murder Hornet Returns says BBSs. He had a Commodore 64. I did too. Stanley says only 2 people could be logged into a site by modem at a time. What do we got? Wow, we got a lot of chat today, which is good because we've got to tell people how we feel because they won't know. Stanley says, I get checked weekly just in case. Hopefully that's not a colonoscopy every week. I don't even think they could do that. Chrono says Christie wasn't bad in the old days. Gorilla says my old boss just passed away Friday from colon cancer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Gorilla. Assuming you didn't hate him. Even so, sure, somebody, he had family somewhere. The Random Menace says, Moxley, sorry to hear that. Please accept my condolences. Sithler says, with a bag you get no control. It just comes out in the bag. So you better hope you wake up before it explodes. Otherwise, you get a problem in the middle of the night. I got you, Sithler. I feel I get up in the middle of the night enough times. I think I'd be okay. But yeah. Chrono says, Gorilla thought you in a band. In a band. JP's is going back to sleep. Sorry, JP's. Get some rest. Stanley's is 1984. Might be the least sexy sex scene ever. Well, I'll make that judgment. JP says, have a good day, Binions. Take care, JP's. Sizzler says, Gorilla, that's what I got. I had it for over a year. No symptoms. Found out stage 4. Already nothing to be done. I was 37. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, Syphilis. Random Menace's Mama Pray solved Wordle in 1. It was a difficult one.
Well, I won't give it away, but there's a reason I knew that word.
She said she's not going to give away, but there was a reason she knew that word. So we're gonna do Wordle after this.
That's why.
So yeah, don't give me any more hints, Mama Pray. The only clue is that Mama Pray knows the word. Darth Maul says, Bird of Prey, my middle school shower is that Romeo and Juliet movie from 1968 that's been in the news as of recent. All I remember from it, the actress was gifted, if you get my drift. Bird of Prey, Darth Maul, Kapla Darth Maul, says, Bird of Prey, my middle school shower is that Romeo and Juliet movie from 1968 that's been in the news as of recent. I have no idea what movie that's been in the news as of recent. All I remember from it, the actress was gifted. I get that. I get that. Keely Chow says, roll tide, brother warrior to Jedi Bill. Chrono says, hello, nurse. Syphilis, sorry to hear you had some rough. It's okay, Syphilis. I'm sorry to hear what you've had to deal with and still are. Chronos says, I was first. Sure you were, Chronos. Stan Lee says, Syphilis, we're going to need a bigger bag. I mean, I would think somebody must sell extra large colostomy bags. Yay, Animaniacs is Kronos. IV Zany to the max. And Kronos likes tacos. Sizzler says, I notice it whether I'm staying in the word or just in it for, I don't know what that is. In for a day. Murder Hornet says, I had court today. I didn't have to go. I heard about that on Deeja's stream, Murder Hornet. You had a false charge that the prosecutor wanted you to plead down to, and you're like, fuck them. Why should you plead guilty? Why should you have to plead guilty to being intoxicated in public when you're in your own home? Right? Your own property isn't public property. A cop can do anything they want, but a cop should not be citing you for being drunk in public when you're drunk in your own home. Your own home is by definition not public. I'm glad you stuck up for yourself, Murder Hornet. I was getting all annoyed. I was getting angry just hearing that. Fucking prosecutors. Prosecutors should be looking for the truth. Okay? If the truth means that they shouldn't prosecute, that's what it means. It doesn't mean that they should be looking to prosecute anybody just because their case falls on their desk. That's the problem with our whole justice system. It's adversarial. It should be both sides should have a duty to the truth, not to their clients. Darth Maul says, for a commercial, have a passion for tacos, Taco Bell, street tacos, etc. Well, come study at ABC University and become a gynecologist. Enroll today. Is this a nurse rant? It kind of was, yeah. Stanley. Mama Bray has got a nurse's tale. No, something about a nurse.
Today's news.
Okay, Mama Frey.
Okay.
The camera's off. You can come closer to the camera. Kind of a Mama Frey tale, but
Well,
maybe.
no, this is what this morning on the news here. It seems there were 4 hospitals where the nurses went on strike.
Yes, Montefiore Hospital.
Right, and the news reporters were outside the hospital. This is all well and good, and I'm sure, especially since 2020, the nurses' jobs have gotten really ridiculous. Expected so much out of the people. They probably are in their right to strike. But what turned me off to their plight was they're standing in front of the hospital that is still operating. There are still sick people in there. And they're not doing this quietly. They're all screaming. I wanted to choke them all.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Listen, if they lost my support that moment. They were making so much noise trying to get people's attention to. You want people on your side, act like human beings, not like some animals.
If you want to yell, go to the politicians, place of business
Go out
and
to
yell
the City
there.
Hall.
Yeah, yell at City Hall. Yell at the governor's office. Don't fucking yell outside the hospital where there are sick, suffering people in those buildings that can hear you. They're the ones that can hear you. They don't give a shit. Okay, just because the people in their beds suffering from burns, gunshot wounds, COVID, God knows what diseases, they're the ones that hear you outside yelling and bitching up a storm. Okay, nobody who makes a decision is being annoyed by your bitching.
Only the sick people that are in the hospital. And that really, I got so angry at the nurses again.
You know what? Fuck the nurses.
The ones
they
that
should
yelling
lose money.
like that. But the good ones, I'm sure, were not out there screaming. All right, that's the end of my interruptions, guys. Sorry.
I know it's hard to be a nurse. It's expensive. You don't get paid what you're worth. And it's hard to work with sick people all day. And the hospitals, they pack the sick people in. It should be a crime. It should be a crime. Maybe vote for people who would make it a crime. John Araki with $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. But
Divert auxiliary power to deflectors.
Don't yell and complain and make noise to keep your patients awake. You're not keeping the hospital administrator awake. The hospital administrator doesn't go to sleep in their office. Sizzler says, I think Futurama's Nurse Ratched is worse. Well, yeah, a robot nurse is probably worse. Chrono says a naughty nurse. A naughty nurse could be a fun nurse. It depends on how naughty they are and why they're naughty. Stanley says, is Nurse Jackie any good? Never watched. Never seen it myself. Kronos can hear Mom will pray. She has a tail. Kronos says, wow, Bird is getting violent now. Rock Solid Productions, Kapla Rock Solid, says, what did I walk into? Is Birdo Prey promoting fisting now? I'm sorry. John Araki, thank you again with another super chat. I'm not promoting fisting. And Rock Solid, I am sorry I missed your stream earlier. I watched it after the fact. Well, I skipped through it after the fact. Chrono says he doesn't have a back tail. Pop Culture Curator says it's supposed to be fist in the face, not face in the fist. Kronos only has a front tail. Murder Hornet returns with my hands numb nut, full metal jacket. Stanley says, and no tacos. The random Nana says, Bird was butt fed. No, not fed. No, it was poop. LDG says, starting to feel my heart beat in my tooth. You need to go to the dentist, LDG. You need to go to the dentist. Stanley says, with prostate cancer, it also depends how old you are.
Captain's log, stardate 7414.1.
That is true.
Our best
If you're
estimates
too
place
old,
us some 4
they
hours
might say it's
from
not
Earth.
even worth fighting. Stanley says if you're old and it's slow, sometimes they don't really do anything. Exactly. Mike Richards is at the OSU Heart Hospital. The nurses are screened thoroughly. I was expecting professional expertise, but I was not expecting sympathy and mothering. Oh, but you got that? That's terrific. Syphilis says, must have been Berto Prey 5's nurse, and a link to a video.
Captain's log, stardate
Unfortunately, I can't
7414.1.
watch it at the moment.
Our best estimates place us some 4
Murder
hours
Hornets,
from
his
Earth.
doctor told him he will die of old age before cancer. Oh, then that's not too bad. I mean, it's still sad, but not too bad. What I've heard with men is that if you live long enough, you will get prostate cancer. There's no ifs about it. The only question is if you die before you get prostate cancer or after you get it. It's what we have to look forward to. Keep typing in the chat just to annoy birds, says Kronos. Hello, Captain Fandom Nerd. Kronos says, I like my bosses. Well, I liked my bosses. I'm going to say, I really can't imagine you having bosses. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, best boss I had. He let me take food home from the buffet at night, gave me advances on my paycheck when I needed, and even let me borrow from the catering van a couple of times when my car broke down. Borrow the catering van. And John Araki with another super chat. Thank you again, John Araki. Wow, John Araki. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 super chats from John Araki today. Thank you, John Araki. And Rock Solid Productions with a $10 donation and got the Happy Baby donation. Said earned a few bucks from something, paying it forward. Get Mamo Pray something nice. Thank you so much, Rock Solid. Mamo Pray says thank you as well. Bird gives the final judgment. Yes, Kronos. Syphilis says Romeo and Juliet actress in 1968 was also underage. Catch the drift. Ah, I see. I see, said the blind man to the deaf. Scotty, Kapla Scotty R37 says facetiously is the only word in the English language that has all the vowels in order. A-E-I-O-U. Well, I can't say that for sure, but it sounds like it's something that was true. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. Sidla says, I wasn't even allowed to attend. Oh, she wasn't even allowed to attend her own movie premiere because she was 15. Wow. Kronos says, dang nerds. I wouldn't say I'm popular, Kronos, but it seems to be a good turnout today. Scotty says, Dan Felding
your communications
is
with
my
Starfleet
favorite
Command,
prosecutor. Yes, from Night Court. Scotty says, I've been tipsy in public many times.
Live long and prosper.
I fit the criteria. John Araki with another super chat or super sticker. Super stickers now.
Could take weeks, sir.
Syphilis with a $5 super chat says, let's see some Dax. Okay, Syphilis. We're going to get some Dax. because between you and John Araki, you certainly owed some kissing Dax. So I'm going to play it and I'm going to review it because this is not a reward for putting in, lots of super chats and donations. This is a bona fide review of a scene from Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode Rejoined. Put to 70s porn music. Okay, so you see you got Terry Farrell and the other actress who plays the Borg Queen. I forget her name, but they are truly madly in love. It's a 12-second scene of passionate kissing, but it completely engorges me to the belief that they are truly, truly in love with one another. And you know what? Let's just see it one more time. Okay. Well, Captain Kirk says, "Hey, I want to watch that kissing Dax one more time." Okay, Captain, for you. Look at the tongue comes out, then it goes back in. Now it's back and forth. They're playing a little bit of hockey, mouth hockey, if you know what I mean. She goes for that suck on the bottom lip. I tell you, that bottom lip suck, that can make all the difference at the end of a passionate kiss. If you need to a move or something, you have a girl and she's like, I give that kiss a C plus, and you're like, what the fuck, a C plus? I've been kissing my whole life. I mean, that's easily a B plus. And she's like, nah, I've had better. It's a C, maybe a C minus. You add that like little bit of suck on the bottom lip as you break apart lips. That's an easy full grade advancement. That C becomes a B might become an A. Just don't forget that. It'll come in handy if you ever need a little extra help. Darth Maul says, I misspelled showed and didn't catch it. Bird, look up Romeo and Juliet, 1968. I gotcha. I gotcha. I don't think YouTube likes hearing that, but I find that very interesting. They are suing Paramount Pictures for the nudity they did 55 years later. Holy shit. I believe it. And 205 donated $1.49 and says, will it work? So show me Susanna Thompson and Terry Farrell. I assume that that's who they were. And you got to see it twice already. So we'll count that one as working before the fact. You got Happy Baby, though. You got Happy Baby. Snorter Pooper says prosecutors are usually running for office and need to notch their belts. Yeah, that's a problem with the entire effing system. Stan Lee says, I forget that hospitals are private businesses in America. Some of them are. A lot of them are. To be honest, the better ones are. The Random Menace says, all nurses should look like Nurse Chapel from Strange New Worlds. That's, well, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Let's put it that way. Darth Maul says, throw those full colostomy bags at them. at the nurses on the picket lines. That's, let's just say if a full colostomy bag fell from a window onto the picketing nurses below, it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing.
I've been monitoring your communications with Starfleet Command,
I mean,
Captain.
it is relatively soft, assuming what's in the bag is soft and wet. Professor Brainy Speck says, hail to Mama Pray. Hail, Professor. So this is, dude, when I was staying in the cancer ward last time, some effing family brought their grandkids into our room and they climbed over everyone's beds. That is unfortunate. Professor Brainy Speck says, Kapla. Scotty also with the hello, nurse. Syphilis says, I almost punched the dad in the head. Well, if I could have punched that nurse in the face, I would have. Darth Maul says, yeah, F those nurses, not in the good way. Exactly. Pop Culture Curator says, when I was a teacher, the teachers would go on strike and their students would join them in the picket lines. I never did that. Greedy idiots. Yeah, I remember teachers trying to get us on their side. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Cry me a river that you've got to work for, 9 out of 12 months of the year. Keely Chow says, take care, Mama Pray. Cronus says, I can get banned. You probably could. Syphilis says, keep your effing kid out of my area and off my shit. That's a good way of putting it. Especially when they could easily be on your shit. And then nobody will be happy. John DeMarcos is an impressive Mamo Pray rant, by the way. Corona says, wow, Kirk is pissed. Syphilis says, Bird, I got a naughty cleaner that comes once a month. Well worth it. He. I wish. I don't even think they have those around here. You know what? If they did, it's not going to be what I want. If unfortunately realized that. Professor says, Kronos, not when I'm around. John Rice is easier to hit Mega Millions than to get Kissing Dax. I don't know if it's that rough, but it is not easy. And Professor says he would rather hit Mega Millions. Of course he would. Everybody would. Rock Solid with a $1.49 donation. Says, no, dear Bop. Of course there'll be Dear Bop. We just didn't get there yet. John Iraqi donated $2. Thank you, John Iraqi, and said, Bird O'Prey is mad he wasn't invited to Dax Spin the Bottle. If there was a Spin the Dax,
Who's been holding up the damn
I
elevator?
did not get an invite. Captain Fandom Nerd with $1 super chat as well. Kapla. Thank you, Captain Fandom Nerd. And Deej is in the house. Hey, Deej. I'll get down there shortly. Darth Maul says a naughty nurse, I think he means a naughty nurse, need to see a naughty nurse for some attention. Giggity. Deej Odyssey says hashtag bird skip through after the fact. That is true. I skipped through after the fact. Stanley's is not butt fed. It was an infinite loop system. Uh, what do we got? John Araki says a human centipede. No, it wasn't a human centipede. Kronos says that movie was gross. Deej says which one? There were 3. They were all gross. The Random Menace of Professional Dentistry was shown in the Tom Hanks movie Castaway. Deej says the 3rd one was filmed in a Karogan prison. Kronos doesn't believe in Karoga. Well, that's your loss. Sizzlers is the worst part of people who die before they can even retire and enjoy their money, etc. I tell you, at least they had somebody set up for retirement. They're the people who can never retire and they live till they can't work. And then it's fucked. Darth Maul says, God rest his soul. My 94-year-old grandfather died of age, not cancer. So he beat cancer. But yes, God rest his soul. That's the thing. You die old enough, you beat cancer. Or if you get hit by a bus, that's still beating cancer. Kronos is those poor orphan Karoga miners. Kronos needs a beer. I don't think you do, Kronos. John Aragi says, Bird will play Kissing Dax, but he will not like it when he does. Hot lesbian action. Darth Maul says let's turn off the camera for a second. Unrelated to what I'm about to read, just because I need to reposition myself in the bed. Darth Maul says the age of consent in the UK was around 16. Some sources say 13 prior to the 1960s. Age of consent today is 21. 21? How can that possibly be? I find that hard to believe. Okay, so history lesson here. When I was back in high school and I had made a web page for my high school, and understand we were a pretty progressive high school, even as New York City high schools go. One of the sections I had on the web page was a link to a Gopher site. And for those of you who don't know what a Gopher site is, Gopher was like the web before the web. It was just plain text. You could have links to other documents, but the documents were only plain text. You couldn't have fancy fonts. You couldn't have embedded images. You couldn't have blinking text. You couldn't have, video, You couldn't have sound. It was literally just like a text document, like from Notepad, that had a web address. But instead of it being www dot whatever, it was gopher dot whatever. So you had gopher.microsoft.com, gopher dot, well, FTP sites were ftp.microsoft.com. Anyway, so there was a gopher site for the ages of consent in every state. And I had a link to it on the Edward R. Murrow High School webpage. Because, we were high school students, so we needed to know those types of things. So, having read through that document at the time, and also noting some international ages of consent, 21 was far above anything at the time. Mom O'Prey said she's looking it up. It says 16. Now, sometimes, unlike they do in the United States, if the internet is involved, it can have a separate age of consent. Like in certain states, the age of consent may be 16. But if the internet is involved in any way whatsoever, the age of consent becomes 18, because the internet is under supposedly federal jurisdiction. So there you have to follow federal law. So if you use Tinder, if you're a 17-year-old and you use Tinder and find a date with a 16-year-old and go off and have sex in New York State, the 17-year-old can get arrested because it's Tinder, you use the internet. However, if you just met each other, in an alley somewhere and decided to go off and have a relationship, the age of consent, I believe, is 17. So if as long as she's 17 and you're 17, you're in the clear. So maybe they have something similar for 21, but yeah, no, society wouldn't operate with a 21-year-old age of consent. Professor says, you forget the name of the actress that played the Borg Queen. What kind of Star Trek fan are you? I'm one who doesn't really give a shit about the Borg Queen. Scotty says it was a touching romance when you take away the titillation. Sidler says, I can only remember Alex Krieg, but not this one. Easlin Burkholder says, how about Kirk on a pool table? Yes. You got to operate this like a business. Kronos says, wow. Scotty says, directed by Avery Brooks. Was Rejoined directed by Avery Brooks? Eastland says, can you play that one? Well, not independently. John Araki says, why don't more women get the spots tattoo? I don't know. That would be cool. Words and Pictures is Kissing Dax and I go full screen, picture quality to 1080p. Unfortunately, you'd be hard pressed to find. It's not impossible, but hard pressed to find Kissing Dax in 1080p. I don't believe that was video that they upscaled. Did they upscale it in the documentary? I imagined if they did, I already would be using it. So I'd have to say they didn't upscale it. Um, Scotty says Bird gets it. Little bite on the bottom left, fireworks. Yep. Yep. Chrono says Bird is growing facial hair. Yeah, I've got a shave today. Scotty says Juliet was hot. I wasn't born yet, so I can say so. Mike Richards says encouraging words from Bird, the love god. Sidless is like that baby that posted on Nirvana's Nevermind album, suing Nirvana. Easlin Burkholder says, so I had 4 months of only loud. When I started having poop, I was happy to get farts. I looked up coloscopies and learned, thankfully, never firsthand. Good for you, Eastland. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would have been mortified before to have one, but years later, dealing with the realities of everyday life, it's just something that I thought about and said, I'm not gonna promote the idea, but if it ever had to happen for whatever reason, it probably wouldn't be the worst. Eastland says make money with unfounded charges, prosecutors. And Slithless says some are private in Australia too, but literally everything is free. Professor says strange new continuity headaches for strange new worlds. Deej Odyssey says John Araki, but he was invited to Quark spin the bottle. I was not. Scythila says some you can't go private if you get for free though through public. I think that's the typo. Darth Maul says all nurses should look like Lindsay Pellis. Kronos says gross. Captain Phantom Nurse says Nurse Chapel from Strange New World is ugly next to the real Nurse Chapel from TOS. Well, Captain Phantom Nerd, I agree that the original series is a bajillion times better show than Strange New Worlds, but I'm sorry. Nurse Chapel from Strange New Worlds, to me, is far more attractive than Nurse Chapel from the original series. I mean, I can still see, goddammit. Now, I would take Nurse Chapel from TOS as an actress above Nurse Chapel from Strange New Worlds, but no, on just judging of attractiveness, it's not even close, in my opinion. Scotty says it doesn't matter what happens with Trek ladies. I will admire them all. However, the absolute super team of Roddenberry Berman smoke show ladies should be painted on the nose cone of spaceships. Kronos is yelling Deej was the father, and Deej is saying he was not. Professor Brainy Specs says one day Charlie will be fighting with Deej, and Deej will say to him, no, I am your father. I don't think that's going to happen. Deed says it only took him 30 minutes to see I was here. Well, I'm sorry, Deed, you were a little late. Sizzler says, I fear Bird of Prey will run out of voice when he's got to with such a turnout today. Jedi Bill says, did you hear that the Mega Millions is up to $1.1 billion? Here is Tuesday's night drawing in the good US of A. I did, Jedi Bill, and I have my $10 quick pick already quick picked. So if I mysteriously go away between today and Friday, well, first talk to Mama Frey, find out what happened. But if she also stops replying, maybe we won. Maybe we won. Yeah, we were both hit by lightning. Somebody check on Sassy, please. Darth Maul says, my oldest relative lived to be 108. Just didn't wake up one morning. That's the way I want to go. Not tonight, but one day. Frono says, I'd love to see Bird of Prey drinking a beer. Frono, I just don't really enjoy beer. That's my problem. Evelyn says, I work hard on my physical rehab. Glad I can do it. Grateful because some cannot do physical therapy. And I remember that when I get sore from exercise. Very cool, Evelyn. Very cool. Sizzler says, woke up for more mornings than most of us will. Certainly at 108. God bless them. Moxley fan says, yes, HLA, hot lesbian action. Sizzler says, 21 sounds a bit old. It's 16 in Australia. Chris Keely Chow says, 21 is too old for me. Quoted by R. Kelly. Sizzler says, lol, 21-year-olds. No, that's not how they meant it. Jedi Bill says, Professor Brainy Specs, I think you're just jealous your state doesn't sell the Mega Millions tickets for sale in your state. Texas doesn't sell Mega Millions? Wow. Sizzler says, $10 says Bird of Prey locked it down as the desktop background. What? Kissing Dax? No. My desktop background remains the Defiant. Kronos likes Mama Prey. And Kronos says, I'm just a kid. Sure you are, Kronos. Scotty says, Roman Polanski has entered the chat. Jedi Bill says, if I win the Mega Millions, I will give you 2 whole cents. If I win the 1.1 billion jackpot, Professor. Wow, 2 cents. Yitza Lemons. Hey, Yitza. Yitza Lemons start singing. When I was 17, it was a very good year. Yes. What was it? It was a very good year for small town. I don't know. Keely Chow says AZ hasn't been the same ever since the CW canceled Batwoman. Says this is just stay out of Southeast Asia and you'll be fine. Yeah, okay, we gotta jump around a little. Scotty says DS9 Trill Smooches remastered. Did they? Scotty says new Chapel is cute and sexy. Classic Chapel is capable and handsome. Yeah, you know what Picard. We all saw what happened when Picard called a woman handsome. He got a drink thrown on him. I don't want your pity. You know what she wanted. Is cock-a-doodle doo. Syphilis says, Bird, your camera is still off, if that matters. I know it's off, Syphilis. I'm not yet sitting up because I need to collect a little more strength. Professor Brainy Specs says, Bird of Prey, didn't read my Bird of Prey when I typed Bird of Prey, sent Bird of Prey message, Bird of Prey, bad Bird of Prey, bad. Professor, if I missed it, please resend it. The Multi-Gunman says, Bird, how's it going? It's going well enough, Multi-Gunman. How are you? Professor Brainy Specs says, Bird of Prey. The Bird of Prey message I sent to Bird of Prey that you didn't read was, you forgot the name of the actress that played the Borg Queen. I read that. I was just so far behind. I read that for sure. That was because, yeah, even Mama Frey heard me read that. Bruno says, can I make run liquor jokes here? What? I have to. Rug liquor. Oh, rug liquor. Yeah. I was going to say, what the hell's are you run liquor? The Multi-Gunman confirmed Jedi Bill meant to offend Professor. Syphilis says, no, that school age of consent locked down at the school. Sing it, Bird, says Kronos. When I was 17. Jedi Bill says, no, don't hate the Texans. Syphilis says, I thought it was Barney from The Simpsons having his very first beer. Oh, yeah. No. Homer. Poor Homer got Barney started on drinking. Scotty says, when I win a multi-million-dollar lotto prize from the government lottery, I will buy you all 1 pack of cigarettes and 1 Diet Coke. It will be on your night table. Then you will never see me again. Joking is allowed here. Absolutely. Okay. Let's skip again. Professor Brainy Specs is Bird. You must have sent me into a parallel universe. Mandela effect. I blame you. Yeah, okay. Blame me, whatever. Let's do a very good. Okay, it's National Clean Your Desk Day. Not going to do that. National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Let's just say NWA would say otherwise. Balloon Ascension Day. Hydrogen-powered hot air balloons. What? Hydrogen-powered hot air balloons? If it's hot air, you don't need hydrogen. Oh, hydrogen in the tank, maybe. Maybe that's what they mean. You sure as hell don't fill the balloon with hydrogen. It would just explode. Hot air balloons are just heating air. But I guess you need a hydrogen tank. You need a hydrogen tank to cause the air to warm. Okay. Coming of Age Day, which sounds like something we talked about today. Golden Globe Awards, who cares? International Choreographers Day, who cares? National Apricot Day, could not care less. National Austin Day, no, not the city, the man's name. National Carter Day, No, not the president, the man's name. National, holy shit, I thought this said casserole, but I have no idea what this is. Cassolette Day? Join foodies across the country as they lick their chops in delight on National Cassolette Day. National Faith Day. No, not the Faith, the woman's name. National Fourth Graders Day. Celebrate the magic of being 9 or 10 and show what fourth graders can do. Fourth grade was a weird grade for me. We'll come back to that. We'll circle back. National Static Electricity Day. National Wonk Day. I have no idea. Join us as we celebrate Washington, D.C.'s busybodies in National Wonk Day. They sound like losers. Well, what's a wonk? I have no idea. National Wonk Day takes place on January 9th of every year. As you can probably imagine, it celebrates Washington, D.C.'s political enthusiasts, those committed to their beliefs. A wonk is someone genuinely interested in a specific field. The term is especially used to refer to those deeply involved in politics, truly dutiful individuals working for the greater good. In 2019, iHeartRadio launched Washington's Wonk FM to honor those inside the Capitol. According to the company, we think wonks deserve a day of recognition and a radio station to match. You work hard and you deserve to play hard. Sounds to me like they should have picked a better job. National Word Nerd Day, which sounds like Wordle Day. It's it's No Pants Subway Ride Day. And that's actually something they do in New York City, which is just disgusting. Panama Martyrs Day. It's Play God Day. That's a big day in Caroga. And for Deej, hey Deej, it's Plow Monday. Plow Monday. We have all the details you need to know about this unique farm workers festival. It's a day for Deej. So this day is dedicated to Deej. But it's also National Word Nerd Day. So let's see how Wordle goes. In fact, on the news this morning, there was the woman, Tracy Bennett, who the New York Times hired to be the Wordle editor. So she picks the words now. I assumed Tracy Bennett was like a Generation Z loser type. It turns out, no, she looks much more like a grandmother type.
Boomer?
I would say a boomer. I would say a boomer. Perhaps a high-end, a very old Generation Xer, but I would say a perhaps more like a baby boomer. Somewhere in the middle. And probably somebody who got there started with crossword puzzles, because they certainly didn't start on playing electronic computer games. But so doesn't really change much. She's still destroying a game that needed no changes. Anyway, let's try Chase. And we got an E in the right place. A lot of words ending in E these days. Let's see. Okay, no. So it's no A, E, fly, O. Mm. What ends? Let's see. So there's no S. Uh, well, we know there's an E. We can just, okay. So we know there's a P to start, an E to end, and an I in the middle somewhere. So let's see. Uh, well, let's try that. Gives it, okay. So we have P-I-X-X-E.
Oh, God.
Hippie? Pipe? No. Uh, let's see.
They're my socks. They're my socks back.
Um, hmm. This is a tricky one.
You rally.
Is it something that ends in two E's? Pixie? Hmm. There's nothing that ends in three E's. Surely not. No, it has to be I. It has to be I. P-I. P-I. Can't be A. Let's see. U, no. Hmm. Pierre? Is that a word?
Did not go to get you.
I've got to take a pill. Oh, shit. When you get a chance, Mama Pray, I need a bottle of water.
Hey, I'm not getting you chicken.
Uh,
Not you.
I know.
If you think I'm gonna give you chicken, go get my socks.
Okay. P-I... I don't know. Honestly, I think I might just skip this one.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Get a little closer. Now don't be shy. You can get a little closer with Arid Extra Dry.
Only Arid has a patent on this formula that fights wetness. No leading deodorant spray stops odor better. And now Arid has a new baby fresh scent. It smells,
Get a little closer with the baby fresh scent of Arid Extra Dry.
Arid fights wetness and odor, now in a new baby fresh scent.
Right from the moment.
Here's where it all started. The history will blow you away.
Right from the arts.
The symphony and the ballet. There's a lot to fit in.
Right from the legend.
Are you the legend? Nah, he's the legend.
Hey, I'm just marvelous.
Right from the heart.
To be part of Boston's exciting new spirit, just call 1-800-858-0200.
It'll cheer you right up. Boston is right from the start.
We know you. Let it rain, you say to her. We'll have a wonderful day. And you pour the Almaden. Almaden Chenin Blanc. Fragrant, fresh, delicate. It's one of your favorites. We know the wine you like because we've been making wine longer than any other California winery. We know you. We make your wine.
Okay. Okay. I am basically going to just throw out a wide net here and try and come up with letters I haven't used yet. Build. Okay. W. W. Voice. CIXX8. We know it's not double E. Okay. Everybody's lolling at me.
What did you put in?
It can't be Pixel because I already used it, but I'm going to go ahead and end it on Pixel. Put me out. I can't. That's not how you spell Pixel. God damn it. Pixie. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that was a total. Look, thank you, Stanley. Pixie, I wouldn't have gotten it. Would not have gotten it today. Just bad timing.
And I bet myself that you would.
And Mom will pray bet that I wouldn't get it.
Right. That was myself. I knew you wouldn't get it.
You knew I wouldn't get it? Wow.
Sorry.
Why would you bet against me?
Only because I didn't think you would get it today. And I was right.
I can't believe Mama Bray had no faith in me today.
You just know it's word today.
You have faith in me all the time, except not with this word today. Has there been any day I ever didn't get Wordle besides today?
Not that I know.
Not that you know of, exactly.
Right, but you just knew.
But you just knew. You don't know why, you just knew. Mama Bray doesn't know why. That the son she always has faith in, she knew I wasn't going to get it today. And I guess I didn't let her down. So I still have a perfect record. The multi-gun man says, Bird, I have to head out now. Sorry for the short stay. No problem, multi-gun man. Have a good day, Bird, and everyone else in chat. Jedi Bill says, no, hell no, multi-gun man. He absolutely does not hate Texans. Sidless is, why would you go out with a royal flush? Oh, Mama Prey went out with a royal flush. She was one card short. She didn't think she was going to get it. It would have been her card. Oh, well. I guess we both had a bit of a poor day. Sizzler says, Bird of Prey, Castle, let's at least look nice. Okay, what were you going to say, Mama Prey, please?
No, I can't right now.
You can't?
No, I'm playing. The reason I have this thing with the word pixie
Okay.
is because
She has a thing with the word pixie because.
Elaine, my stepmother.
Oh, because her stepmom.
When I was really young, well,
When she-
6, 7 years old, wouldn't let my hair grow. Always cut it. Well, had it cut in green color. In a pixie style.
Okay.
Which is like a half a fucking inch. It was terrible. I had hair that reminded me of a boy's hair.
So Mama Prey, when she was a young girl, her stepmother wouldn't let her grow her hair long. She always made her hair get cut in the beauty parlor in a pixie cut, which is only like a half-inch long, made her look like a boy. A boy's haircut.
But to make matters worse,
And to make matters worse,
when I cut my hair last week,
when she cut her hair last week herself,
using the Flowbee,
I
cut it too short and it reminds me of that hairstyle.
She cut it too short and it reminded her of that hairstyle. So it's been on her mind for a week, maybe more. Kronos Mama Bray is a gambler, yes. She enjoys gambling. But she is, by the way, for those of you who play Governor of Poker 3, you might have noticed that I am the new leader of the poker team. Cinnabon turned the team over to me completely to my surprise the other day. Cinnabon, if you're out there, I hope you're okay. I mean, I know you're still playing the game somewhat. I was surprised. I hope everything's okay with you, man. Please let me know if there's something I can do. Is this temporary? Do you know what? Why did you give it to me? You were doing a great job leading the team, but for whatever reason, I'm in charge now. So if you know anybody who wants an invite to the team, let me know and I can send them an invite. Only the team leader apparently can invite people to the team. So yeah, I'm now the team leader. Yes, they still sell Flobies.
Yeah.
Stanley.
Well, when you're in the house, you can't get out, and you need to cut your hair. It works.
Mama Frey says, when you're stuck in the house and you need to cut your hair, it works. I remember the day Dad O'Prey saw Floby on TV. He needed to have it. Right? It was Dad O'Prey.
Huh?
It was Dad O'Prey who saw the Floby on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never used it.
No, but I thought he
Divert
ordered
auxiliary
it.
power to deflectors.
He ordered it. Yeah, but he wouldn't use it.
He wasn't using it.
He wasn't using it. Addie in stereo, my old friend, says we are on our way to the. Oh. Wait, you don't have a dog named Fido. Son of a bitch. We were on our way to the vet to put down my dog Fido. But then we turned on Joe's show and the vet said Fido is completely cured. Thank you, Bird. You hear? I was actually going to feel bad for you for a minute until I realized you don't have a dog named Fido. Chrono says, wow, just wow. Sidla says, is the big blizzard still happening in America? It might be, but not here. Professor Brainy Specs is sad. What's the matter, Professor? Kronos blames the globalists. Kronos is son of a bitch. Professor Brainy Specs still sad. Professor, what did I miss, Professor? Professor says, Thomas, I really never would have thought that. Smirk. He's probably not even a real god emperor. I am. Professor is said. Dan Ben says there's a new Star Trek Picard poster. And Pluto was his name. What is this new Picard poster? Well, we've got Picard, Beverly, Geordi with eyes. Oh my God, that's a terrible Riker. Worf all the way in the fucking back. Poor Worf. Marina Sirtis, 7 of 9 in a captain's uniform. Rafi. And of course, Data, not Data, Lore, Brent Spiner. And what is this? It's the Enterprise. The Enterprise being chased by another ship that vaguely reminds me of Nemesis. Star Trek Picard, streaming February 16th. The final season. Interesting. Thank you, Dan Ben. Interesting poster. Not a lot of excitement from me. Professor will send me a DM. Okay, Professor. I'll assume it's not for this. Okay, let's Let's head on to the Dear Bops because I have physical therapy coming up, and we gotta get through Dear Bops. Gary Katzer with the direct email. Gary Katzer, a Paramount casting memo from 1987 for Star Trek The Next Generation. Check out those alternate actors we could have had. Picard was Patrick Stewart, Mitch Ryan, Roy Times, Yaphet Kotto. I don't have any idea who those people are. Riker, Michael O'Gorman. Riker is spelled with a Y, by the way. Greg Marks, Jonathan Frakes, Ben Murphy, Tasha, I don't know, Data, Mark Lindsay Chapman, Kevin Peter Hall, also for Geordie. Beverly Ann Twoney, Jenny Gutter, Cheryl McFadden. Who the hell is Cheryl McFadden? Is she related to Gates McFadden? Geordie LeVar Burton, Reggie Jackson, Tim Russ, Wesley Snipes, Victor Love. I don't know who that is. Wesley J.D. Roth. I don't know who J.D. Roth is, but he'd make a better Wesley than Will Wheaton. I know that much. Tasha has a bunch of names, but under Troy, Denise Crosby. Very interesting, Gary. Thank you. Dear Bob, how many girlfriends / SOs did you have before you became a cripple? I don't know. It's a Dear Bob. Well, how many girlfriends / SOs did I have before I became a cripple? Well, not a whole lot. I had started dating a few years earlier on internet dating sites. Yeah, camera's off. Before my longest actual boyfriend girlfriend type relationship lasted about 3 months, which is not very long for a 30-year-old. But so there's one. There were a few others that went on for a few weeks, I guess. My longest relationship, unfortunately, doesn't really count. I can't count it as a girlfriend or a boyfriend. No, it's certainly not a boyfriend. I can't count it as a SO. It was a friends with benefits situation. But from the very beginning, it was not going to be anything beyond that. So that went on several years, but I don't know if that would count. I mean, what I often had was something that was less than a girlfriend, but more than a friend. I called it most favored female status. Uh,
Want your mother's opinion?
yes, Mama Frey. What's it?
That relationship kept you from looking anywhere else.
It's true. It's true.
It
It did keep me from looking.
because it was another one looking you right in the face and as close to her.
I couldn't do that. That would not be right.
But what was was.
What was. Exactly. Can't change it now. So I don't know how many girlfriends I have. Not enough. Not enough. Maybe 2, 3, maybe not enough. But they were all 10s, says Stanley. Actually, well, I mean, certainly they weren't bad. They weren't bad. Dear Bop, preparation A to G have all failed. Now we're moving on to preparation H. You say so. Gary Katzer says, I just want to state for the record, I am not the one that Yosef is arguing about socialism and communism with on Twitter. While I would tease him about such things in the past, I would never do that again and have learned my lesson. Shame on those who he is having to educate. I was not aware about him having any such Twitter interactions. Dear Bop, as a child, I was forced to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. Har, 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 har. Dear Bop, my New Year's resolution is to procrastinate more. I'm going to start tomorrow. Gary Katzer, with plenty of heads up. My birthday is over a month away. I wear a size $100. Super thanks. You're welcome. But when is your birthday, Gary? February what? Dear Bob, New York Post link. Screw the poor people again. That's Joe. Biden administration weighs nationwide ban on gas stoves. Millions of Americans may soon be entering not stove season. The Biden administration is considering a nationwide ban on gas stoves, citing harmful pollutants released by the appliances, according to a report. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is mulling the action after recent studies showed emissions from the devices can cause health and respiratory problems. This is a hidden hazard, the CPSC Commissioner Richard Tamaka Jr. told the outlet. Any option on the table, products that can be made safe, that can't be made safe, can be banned. Reports by groups including American Chemical Society and New York University Law School Institute for Policy Integrity found gas stoves, which are used in about 40% of U.S. homes, while the remainder use various forms of electric cookers, emit pollutants like nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and fine matter at levels deemed unsafe by the Environmental Protection Agency and World Health Organization. The studies also link gas stoves to respiratory illness, cardiovascular problems, cancer, and other health conditions. More than 12% of childhood asthma cases could be attributed to gas stoves, according to a report published last month by the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. There is about 50 years of health studies showing gas stoves are bad for our health. Hank Hill donated $1.49 and says, "What the hell? This isn't America. This isn't the America I know." I know. We should be having propane and propane accessories. That's what they're coming for next, Hank. They're coming for the propane and propane accessories next. There's about 50 years of health studies showing gas stoves are bad for our health, and the strongest evidence is on children and children's asthma. Manager of the Carbon Free Buildings Program at the nonprofit Clean Energy Group and co-author of the study told Bloomberg, "By having a gas connection, we are polluting the insides of our homes." This is probably paid for by the fucking Russians. Short of barring the manufacture and importation of gas stoves, the CPSC could also impose emission standards. The agency is expected to open public comment on gas stove hazards later this year. Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey and Representative Don Beyer of Virginia sent a letter to the agency in December urging it to take action against the appliances, saying they are a cumulative burden on minority and low-income households. The association that represents gas stoves makers like Whirlpool contends that cooking on any type of stove produces harmful emissions.
That's it. I don't cook anymore.
That's it. Yeah, no cooking allowed in homes. All your meals have to be cooked by the government and brought to you. Ventilation is really where this necessary discussion should be, rather than banning one particular type of technology. Now, when I had my kitchen redone, I made sure I had a vent to the outside. So when we do turn the stove on, it can be sucked up and ventilated to outside. So you'll take my stove over my cold, dead hands. Right? The Second Amendment protects our First Amendment, the right to own a stove. That is the First Amendment, right? Son of a bitch. Dan Van says the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air made a lot of jokes about Wesley Snipes. And Cheryl Gates McFadden is her full name. Oh, thank you, Random Menace. Thank you. Fuck you. We're going to take my stove. Not today. Dear, hey, oh, hey. Instead of Dear Bob. Hey, my hairy birdie, it Fang here. Why you not call me anymore? I not call Eric Swallowwell anymore. He stinky go back to his wife. I write you because I'm coming back to U.S. from Beijing. I have to change my name though, so new name is something Wang. I visit you next month for Valentine's Day, okay? Remember our first Valentine's Day? I shave your back and empty your potty bag for you. And you buy me a very small box of chocolates. It was wonderful and I miss you. So I see you next month I love Bayview, New York. It's like my second home. Something Wong. Yeah, Fang Fang. Yes. Head over to Bayview. Make sure that's where you tell the taxi driver to bring you. Kronos has to leave. Later, taters. Later, Kronos. And Dan Van says they add the smell to gas. Yes, natural gas has no smell. They add that as our protection. Same like propane. Propane would have no smell if not for the odor added to the gas. Dear Bob, if you and Mamo Pray get struck by lightning and need someone to watch after Sassy, don't send her to Turkestan. No. They rehome dogs there. Yeah, but at least they do rehome the dogs. No, Sassy can't go to Turkestan. Dear Bob, why are you worrying about winning the lottery? We all know LDG is going to win it again and again and again. He cracked the code. Just in case he didn't. Dear Joe, Deej here. Hey, I have a new website that I just set up, and it's pulling in tons of dollars. I just need some help on the coding, and I know you have experience in this subject. Would you please check out my site and tell me what you think? Any advice, recommendations would be very helpful. The new site is called scat.com. I think you will be totally on board. Thanks, Deej. I think not, Deej. I think not. Dear Bob, hot or not? And link library.sportingnews.com. I would say trashy. WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Alexa Bliss. I would say trashy. I wouldn't say I'd kick her out of bed, but I would also say I would have grave concerns over her, grave concerns over, I would have to have a lot of protection, like extra protection. Gary Katzer says, it's the same day every year, and if you don't remember, I'm not going to remind you. I guess you don't love me as much as I thought you did. I'm not your wife, okay? I don't have your birthday written down. But if you tell it to me, I'll write it down so I'll know I'm right next time. Okay? I didn't date you. It was never my job to find out when your birthday was. I know I go out and I tell people my birthday for months at a time. It's November 13th. I don't need anybody. I don't expect people to remember it. Dear Bob, what's the difference between Salty Trekker and Rock Solid? People miss. No. God damn you, soft putty. Dear Bob, does Sassy bark with a New York accent?
No.
Yeah, Mama Pray says no. She comes from Texas. So she barks with a Texas accent. In fact, sometimes I hear her singing when the stars at night are big and bright deep in the heart of Texas. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, shit. Oh, one more, dear Bob. Okay, Bob, I will tell you my birthday as you seem to have forgotten. My birthday is February 31st. You big dummy. Thanks for nothing. I know it's not the 31st. There is no 31st. It's not the 20. I don't know if it's the 28th, but I highly doubt it is. You want to tell me your actual birthday? At some point, I will put it in my calendar. That will do it for the dear Bob. Oh, shit. There we go. That will do it for the dear Bops for today. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. It is 6:20. I have about 20 minutes to do what I need to do, and then I have to get ready for physical therapy. So we are going to call it a stream here. Thank you all for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. It's Monday. Wednesday will be Enterprise Wednesday. We'll do another episode of Star Trek Enterprise. And then Friday will be Bed Life again. I don't know about tomorrow, Tuesday. Tomorrow is the second Tuesday of the month. So tomorrow will be the members only stream. Guys, I don't know the exact time yet. Probably about 4 p.m. Eastern. But tomorrow, if you're a channel member, it will be up sometime early in the day. You can see when the member stream is. Second Tuesday of the month is tomorrow. So if you're a channel member, I hope to see you there. With that, I will check Twitter, Professor. Kapla all, bird out. We'll play a little something. We'll play a little something. I don't know what. Oh, our friend Deej.